We're 6 months into my first season as Wolves manager. We've made 4 new signings, changed our system twice, had threats from key players, hired about 1 million new scouts, found the next Cristiano Ronaldo, conceded last-minute goals, and now had an injury curse hit our best players. And now with just £2 million left to spend in the January transfer window about to open, we're about to make some big decisions here at Wolverhampton Wanderers. But first, it's time to head back to our press conference for some of your comments. I think you should try to loan Mikkel Damsgaard. He's a cam and he can also play on the left wing and central midfield. He's got 82 potential. He's a promising talent from Denmark. He's currently playing for Brentford, 75 rated. He has 81 pace, he's shooting 68, but under your management, that can improve. 71 passing, 78 dribbling. He's a very technical player. You can also try to loan Brahim Diaz from Real Madrid. He's not really getting much game time there. You could look to him because he has Premier League and European League experience. Thank you for listening to my suggestions. Well, first and foremost, thank you for providing your suggestions. Please, everyone, keep them coming. Now, I mentioned the injury curse continued here at Wolves, with now my second big name player, Matthias Cunha, picking up a 2-month injury, dislocating his shoulder last episode. And obviously, with him being the only senior player who can play in this central attacking midfield role, it forced me to move away from this 4-2-3 system and go for something completely different, a 4-2-4 setup. Now, I thought the change in system was potentially going to get the best out of my 2 new striking signings in De Linga and Jorgen Strand-Larsen, but evidenced by the fact that we lost our very next game against Fulham, clearly that did not work out how I wanted it to. So once again, it poses the question, do I stick with this 4-2-4 system, give it a bit more time, or do I switch back to this 4-2-3-1 and try and look for a short-term replacement for this man, Matthias Cunha? But of course, with just £2 million left in the bank, that is not going to be any easy task. Now, I totally agree with you. Mikkel Damsgaard offers us a brilliant array of versatility, which is exactly the sort of thing I like to bring in to this Wolves team. And obviously, with him having Premier League experience, clearly he would be a very good signing. But with him being such a key figure for Brentford in the Premier League, how willing would they be to let him go to a potential division rival? As for Brahim Diaz, absolutely no chance whatsoever he would ever want to move to Wolves on a permanent deal, especially with him just being 24 years of age and, of course, playing for the biggest team in the world in Real Madrid. But you're absolutely right, with him not being able to get into the team at the moment, could a really cheeky little loan move in January potentially be something that could tide him over until the summer? Time will tell. Hi Adrian, I'm one of your scouts from England, but with not a hefty budget, I would recommend buying someone like Kwanzaa from Liverpool. You can get him for under 6 mil and he has some much needed Premier League experience. So once again, another scout on board here at Wolverhampton Wanderers. That is exactly the sort of thing that I like to see. And obviously you've been listening very carefully because you know that I've got some problems in my defence. Now, I was hoping that the likes of Bueno and Mika Marco were going to form a lethal partnership at the back for me this season. And to be fair, with me only conceding 19 goals in 18 Premier League games so far, I actually don't think the two of them have done too badly. Plus, with Marmo only being 22 years of age in his first season here at the club, and with Bueno being slightly more experienced at 25 but still with his best defensive years ahead of him, I'm still kind of confident that the two of them can be my long-term partnership across this career mode. However, as I've mentioned before, with Soti Gomez not currently getting a look in at the back, plus with him coming to me last episode and demanding more games, claiming that his lack of game time is not good for his career, I feel like the writing may be on the wall for the 24-year-old Portuguese, and the writing is certainly on the wall for the 33-year-old Englishman Craig Dawson, already gone down by 3 points. He is certainly going to be one that's going to potentially leave the club come the end of the season. So as I've mentioned before, defence is certainly going to be an area of the pitch that I'm going to have to improve, if not in January, certainly at the beginning of Season 2, and this man, Jarell Kwanzaa, could certainly fit the bill. Just 20 years of age, already having Premier League experience both at Liverpool and now seemingly at Nottingham Forest in this game, he could well be a very good option for me, and he fits into the ethos of the kind of young players I want to bring to Wolverhampton Wanderers. But as you can see, with me also having some other top young talent on my shortlist, is Kwanzaa the man that I should bring to Wolverhampton Wanderers at the start of Season 2, or should I potentially look at some of the other players that you've recommended to me? Once again, let me know down below what you think. Now, after getting done with the press conference and settling back into my office, getting ready to meet another one of my top scouts to go over a few different names across the world football, he hits me with some very shocking news. Mr. Adrian, I need to inform you of some concerning news. After our victory against Villa a few episodes back, I went to get a celebratory bottle of Coke. However, a mysterious man spiked my drink, and I've been sick ever since. Turns out he was part of the Villa staff who tried to put your best scout out of action. Therefore, I must warn you to tell your coaching and your scouting staff, stay safe out there, as the big clubs are clearly afraid of the Wolves revolution. Wow, well that is potentially shock of the season. Now, earlier on in this career mode, I spoke of some rifts and some potential leaks in the camp, and I put that down to this man, Matt Doherty, the long-standing Wolves veteran. And whilst we might have been on the money with his behaviour, I certainly wasn't expecting that sort of treacherous behaviour from another team here in the Premier League. It kind of got me thinking, though, if they're willing to do something like that to one of my scouts, what are they going to be willing to do to try and get hold of some of the best players that I've got here at the football club? Starting off with this man, Rayan Aït-Nouri, just 22 years of age and now already 79 rated and having a phenomenal season so far in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt. What sort of things are some of the biggest clubs in Europe are going to be telling him to try and tempt him away from the football club. Matheus Cunha might be injured now, but he is clearly the best player in the entire team, and I'm sure he's someone that a lot of the other big teams across the world also have their eye on as well. We already know the situation with Pedro Neto trying to force a move out of the club at the beginning of the season. Perhaps that's due to some whispers that he's had in his ear from some of the other teams in the Premier League. And finally, João Gomez, another 22-year-old who's absolutely lighting up the Premier League for me this season. Another one of my best players, and another player who I'm sure some of the biggest teams in the world would absolutely love to get their hands on. So that makes 4 huge players here at the football club that some of the biggest teams across Europe might be trying to poach from me at the beginning of next season. So should I just give in to the whims of some of these big clubs, let them take my players and reinvest that money back into the team? Or should I try and clamp down on their poor behaviour, try and defend my scout's honour, and try and do some meddling of my own to show that Wolverhampton Wanderers cannot be pushed around? Once again, let me know down in the comments what you think. Fortunately enough though, one of my top scouts was still fit enough to give me a scout report of his own. Mason Mount, a contender for biggest flop signing of the season. Mount needs a career revival and we can offer him that. His market value stands at 25 mil. His creativity, dribbling and footballing finesse will bring life to our otherwise dull midfield. Kang In Lee, with the departure of Neto imminent, we need a big signing to replace him. Kang has in fact superior dribbling stats compared to Neto and can grow to a mammoth 86. A move to the Prem will surely bring out the best in an agile and creative Cam, however an expensive option. And finally, Charles de Ketelaere. There's a reason why this man has been called the Italian Haaland, standing at 6'3". Charles has everything we need: a lethal shot, dizzying dribbling, powerful heading and a tank-like build. He will take us to the next level. We should definitely sign him at all costs. Wow, Mason Mount certainly would be a real statement signing. He has everything to be successful at Wolverhampton Wanderers, but with him only recently joining Manchester United from Chelsea for a big fee, and of course the Manchester Giants commanding a big fee for him themselves, realistically he's not someone I could afford right now. Kang In Lee, another statement signing, great versatility, absolutely everything to be a perfect Premier League player, but of course with him just being 22, playing for PSG, realistically would he want to make the move to Wolves? And finally, Charles de Ketelaere, absolutely agree with you, my word, he would be another huge statement signing. The AC Milan wonder kid at 22 years of age has everything he needs to be a perfect Premier League player. But once again, with me only having £2 million to spend in January, and with him also being out on loan this season and realistically only wanting to join a Champions League team on a permanent basis, perhaps he, just like the others, are signings that we might want to look at as the career mode progresses. For now though, it's finally time to get this episode started with some football, and Mario Lemina is going to be leading us out here at the Molineux as we're going to be facing off against Everton in our very first game. It's Christmas time and fatigue has ripped through the camp. As you can see, I am sticking to this new 4-2-4 in the bid to try and see if I can get some consistency, but you can also see that I've made several changes. Sarr keeps his place in goal, Doherty, Gomez, Marmol and Aït-Nouri at the back. Lemina's partnered by Traore in the centre of the park with Bargi, and Sarabi are playing behind Dallinga and Larson up front. So here we go then, heavy changes and a wonderful opportunity for some of my more fringe players to stake a claim in the starting 11 and see whether or not they've got what it takes to try and make a name for themselves here in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt. Doherty down the line into that man Bargi, who started off the season so well but has just ran out of a little bit of steam here, as Dallinga also has run out a little bit of steam. It must be said he's been a little bit poor in the last couple of episodes after another phenomenal start. Loses his touch, it's a bit of a poor one, and Everton now have the ball. But it's Strand Larson who picks it up in a really good position, plays it into that man Rooney Bargi, who takes it on with his left. What a strike, what a save. Oh my word, really, really close there Bargi for his first goal in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt, but frustratingly it was not meant to be. Marmo, oh my word, that is a header of absolute beauty. From absolutely nowhere, Bargi lifted the ball into the penalty area, and it looked like from right on the edge of the box, Marmo with a colossal header. Well, let's take a look at the replay out. He was just on the edge, he beat 2 defenders to it, there was a defender on the line, and it still wasn't enough to stop that from going in the back of the net. What an absolute bullet header, he's delighted, so am I. 1-0. Traore into Rooney Bargi. Bargi into Strand Larson. Strand Larson with a lovely little dink ball right over the top. Bargi picks it up, gets there ahead of the defender, and Bargi still has it now. Looking for a ball into the centre, finds a ball into Dallinga, into Strand Larson, tries to bundle his way through. Good defending. Totti Gomez down the line into Rooney Bargi yet again, into Strand Larson. Those two have been heavily involved so far in this game, but a little bit of a poor layoff there from Larson. Loses it in a really good position, and Everton now can try and see if they can press forward. Playing some nice football at the back, but Strand Larson does just about enough to win it back. Really good play there from the young man. Traore feeds it into Bargi. Bargi looks to feed it into Dallinga. Just the run was a little bit too loose and the ball was not strong enough. Plays it back into Doherty. Doherty into Lemina. Lemina onto his left. Finds Traore. The ball is still alive here. Traore over to Aït-Nouri. Out wide. free on the left-hand side, tries to throw it in, Young blocks it off, tries to throw it in again, gets a corner for his troubles. Well, the move broke down a little bit, we lost a bit of momentum, but we have managed to get a corner, and Bargi's going to look to do the same tactic again, fed it into Marmol this time, he was just crowded out. Ashley Young once again, he's blocked off by Aït-Nouri, really good defending from the left back, and he storms forward now into Dalinga. What options does Dalinga have? Dalinga finds Larson, Larson takes it on, blocked. It's another corner here, and once again it's another one that Bargi is going to take, and once again I'm going to try and see if I can find the head of Marmol. I look for the head of Marmol, Marmol does get his head on it. This time Ashley Young clears it away, only out as far as Traore. Bargi will pick it up again, and will try and throw it back into the box. He does, headed clear though by the Everton defence, only out as far as Marmol once again, as the referee blows for half-time. Well, we've certainly been the better of the two teams in the opening 45 minutes, but we've only got one goal to show for it, and as you know, I've got a habit of conceding late equalisers. We've got to make sure we stay professional and don't do the same thing here today. And early here in this second half, Everton have got a free kick in a dangerous position. Decore floats it into the box. It's Mikalenko, I believe, who got his head on it. And in the end, it goes wide into Lemina. Lemina floats it over the top into Sarabia, who's been very quiet so far, and it's nodded down into Harrison. Dwight McNeil for Everton now as they begin to try and push forward in search of an equaliser. That's a lovely little ball through, right through two players into McNeil. McNeil, oh, that's a big opportunity that's gone begging. And it's that man, Rooney Bargi, once again, who picks it up, and he just barges his way past two players and lays a wonderful ball into Jorgen Strand Larsen, who tries to go past Jared Branthwaite. Doesn't have the pace to get past the Englishman, though. Good defending. Ben Godfrey, nice little pass into Andre Gomez in the centre of the park, unmarked, and Danjuma now has it on the left. Plays it back into Dwight McNeil. Marmol tries to put the challenge in, isn't able to, but Aït-Nouri sniffs out the danger, and Totti Gomez can now bring this one forward. Out to Sarabia, who's been so quiet in this game. Dalinga now looking for the overlapping run. Oh my word, what sort of ball was that? Really, really poor from Dalinga. He's really struggled to find his feet since that wonderful start to life in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt. Traore picks it up in the centre of the park though, finds it into Lemina once again, and once again it is Dalinga, and this time it's a better ball through, but Sarabia just can't control it. And with that man Dalinga struggling, I'm bringing on Rocha once again, the Portuguese wonder kid, to try and see if he can make a difference with about 15 minutes left on the clock. And Sarabia picks it up once again, plays it into that man Rocha. Rocha has options, finds an option of Aït-Nouri, really good pass, and Aït-Nouri, the left back, brings it forward. I was trying to find the ball into Larson, just blocked off. It's a lovely ball into Danjuma. Danjuma into Andre Gomez. Andre Gomez with his left drags it wide, big chance. Mika Marmol into stoppage time here at the Molineux. Aït-Nouri out to Sarabia. Sarabia goes central, loses it to Decore, and that's the last thing that I want. I want my experienced players to show their experience and don't give away silly opportunities to Everton. Into Decore, Marmol anywhere will do. The panic stations have set in. Bargi tries to clear it, but fortunately enough for me, the referee blows for full time. Well, the Wolves fans and myself can breathe a sigh of relief here at the Molineux. I salute their support, and the players celebrate as they walk off the pitch. That man, Mika Marmol, will take the plaudits. His solitary goal right at the beginning of the game gives us a 1-0 victory at full time. Well, goals here for Wolverhampton Wanderers are certainly a problem of that. There can be no doubt, especially when you're relying on your centre-back scoring his first goal of the season to win you the game. But I tell you what, if it is your centre-back who does get that goal and get you the 3 points, I'll take it all day long. He's had a great start to life in Wolves colours so far, has the young Spaniard. Long may it continue. The bigger question I have, though, is the form of this man, Dalinga. He really started off in fine fashion when he joined the club, but his goals have since dried up, and just 4 in 18 Premier League appearances really shows that he's not quite cutting it at this level so far. But the frustrating thing is, it seems like Jorgen Strand Larsen isn't either, and when both of your key strikers are really not performing, and when you've had one of your players in Pedro Neto out for 2 months, and now you have your other best attacking player in Matheus Cunha out for 2 months as well with a dislocated shoulder, it's no wonder this team are struggling to score goals. But now, with a January transfer window officially open, it's time to see if I can make any improvements to this squad. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about some potential dead wood that I might want to try and offload to bring in some extra funds, like this man Pablo Sarabia. However, if I do get rid of him, with him only seemingly being worth about £7.5 million, realistically it's not going to give me the sort of money that I need to try and bring in a proper replacement for him. And the same can be said about this man Matt Doherty, with him only being worth 2.6 mil. Realistically, who am I going to bring in at that sort of money that's going to be better than him? Now, right now, with this 4-2-4 system just not working for me, and with my only senior central attacking midfielder out injured, I certainly certainly think that is going to be the key area that I'm going to want to improve. But with me only having £2 million, I'm going to have to be creative. And so rather than trying to bring in a big name player for big money, potentially I should try and look to raid the loan market instead. Now, despite the suggestion to go with Mikael Damsgaard, it seems like my concerns have been validated because Brentford have absolutely no interest whatsoever in allowing me to bring him in on loan. And it looks like the same can be said for much of the other players on my shortlist as well. Now, because we can't bring in some of the bigger name players that I want to the club, instead I'm going to go down a slightly different road and look to some younger players that potentially some of the bigger teams in Europe want to get a little bit more experience. Starting out with this man, Vitor Roque, a potential wonder kid from Barcelona, can play in all different attacking areas. He has the versatility that I love, and with him already being 77 rated at just 18 years of age, I think he's going to be a really good short-term loan signing for the club. And secondly, a man formerly of RB Salzburg, now plying his trade on this career mode at Juventus, and due to him failing to get into the starting 11 of the Italian Giants, he's decided it needs to be time to make the move to the Premier League to get some much needed experience across the path. And so that is why we welcome our second loan signing, Moritz Kjerd, for another 6 months. Once again, he's a young player, he's a central midfielder, but he can play in more attacking areas because he's got the stats to do so. Both of these young lads give me the opportunity to play in multiple different ways. And with us heading over to Craven Cottage to face off against Fulham in the third round of the FA Cup, I think this is the perfect opportunity to give both of them their starting debuts in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt. I'm switching back to a 4-2-3-1, but I'm shifting Kjerd slightly further back to give me a few more numbers in the centre of the park. As you can see, there's also a start for Roque, who comes in on the left-hand side in place of Wang, who drops to the bench, as well as Larson, due to the poor form of Delinga, takes his place up front. So here we go then, it's Pereira into Broja. Broja lines it up. Oh my word, just puts it wide here 5 minutes in. If a shaky start, it must be said. Perhaps my two new signings just settling in a little bit slowly here, and perhaps the rest of the players just struggling to gel with them early doors here. But we've got to make sure that we change that immediately. Ain't Nori into that man Roque, and Vitor Roque has the opportunity now to try and burst forward. Into the box he goes, just gets bundled off of it by Ream. He's got to show a bit more strength and tenacity if he wants to assert himself in this starting 11. It's down the line into Reed. Lamina comes across to try and challenge, doesn't though, and Broja manages to shrug off the challenge of Kjerd, and now Iwobi brings it forward. Out to Wilson on the right hand side. Fulham have been the better of the two teams so far, but Ain't Nori once again in the right place at the right time, goes out for a throw. It's going to be that man Wilson who's going to be the man to take the throw here. What options has he got? Reed into Andreas Pereira, lovely ball. Pereira into Broja. Broja almost gets the shot off, but in the end, Jose Sarr with a good save. Andreas Pereira will take the resulting corner though. 20 minutes on the clock here. It's been all Fulham so far. We've really struggled to even get out of our own half. Iwobi on the edge of the box, cuts it back into Ballo-Touré, looks to try and shape up a shot, loses it to Mario Lamina though, and now we can try and see if we can stretch our legs more. Oh, that's a poor ball from Larson, and in the end, Fulham win it back and they put a stop to that counter-attack. Estanya once again will take the throw, and once again it goes straight into Wilson, into Broja. Broja into the box, into Iwobi. Oh my word, bundled his way through. Jose Sarr comes to our rescue yet again. Well, we need to wake up, and we need to wake up fast. I was hoping those two new signings would breathe new life into this Wolves team, but at the moment it is 6s and 7s at the back. We are all over the shop. We cannot seem to get out of our own half here. Fulham applying the pressure. Wilson tries to go past it. Nori once again, fabulous defending from the left back, and that's a lovely ball through into that man Vitor Roque. Kjerd now into Larson. Larson into Mario Lamina, and Lamina now into Roque. This is the counter-attack that I need, and the Barcelona man drives into the box looking for a goal on his debut. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely sensational from the 18-year-old, and he's just gone and shown these travelling Wolves fans what they are about to witness across the course of the next 6 months. Well, that is what happens when you introduce a young player with absolutely lightning speed into your starting 11. He had the technique that he's learned from the Barcelona team to absolutely run that Fulham defence ragged, and look at that lovely finish shot. Could the keeper have done better? Perhaps he could have. I don't care one bit. 1-0. Iwobi down the left-hand side going one-on-one with Semedo. He's just got the better of Semedo and cuts it back into Palhinha. Palhinha are back into Iwobi. They've got space here. Into the box they go, looking for someone to lay it back to. Plays it into Ballo-Touré. Ballo-Touré blocked off though by Semedo, but they keep the ball alive with Palhinha. Palhinha lines it up. It's Marmo who blocks it off. Fulham keep it alive. In the end, it goes to Jose Sarr as the referee blows for half-time. Into Gomez. Gomez tries to play it through the channel, but instead it falls to Larsson, and in the end he manages just to toe poke it into the path of Pedro Neto. Where is the run from my players though? Pedro Neto does just about enough to hold it up. Gomez tries to play it in the end we just get bundled off of it. Lost another bit of momentum. Alex Iwobi tries to go down this right hand side. He's absolutely taken out there by Semedo. Neto wins it back into Strand Larsen. The referee plays the advantage into Roque once again. Roque with his left forces the keeper into a save. Everything has come through the young Barcelona man. Timothy Castagna now bursts down this right hand side, blocked off by Mario Lemina. Now we've got the bit between our teeth. The young man drives through the heart of the midfield, plays it into Gajerd, and now the other debutant on his debut gets the goal as well. And the two youngsters starting their first Wolves game have done the unthinkable and both got goals on their debuts. Well, I said at the start that we started off shaky, the two young men perhaps suffering from a little bit of nerves on their first start, but my word, they have come alive as the game has progressed. And now Gajerd, what a fabulous finish and a fabulous way to introduce yourself to the Wolves faithful. 2-0. Gajerd now over into Gomez, over into Larsson. Larsson across to Semedo on the right-hand side. Fulham trying to see if they can find a route back into this game, but at the moment it looks like it's more likely to be us as Aït-Nouri with the header loops it over. And after a solid 75 minutes work on his debut, Victor Roque will go off in place of Hwang, who comes on, and finally it's good to have some depth on the bench. And Hwang comes on and plays a lovely ball into Larsson. Larsson around the corner into Aït-Nouri. Now men absolutely flooding into the box. Aït-Nouri looking for the cutback, almost found the cutback. Gajerd so close to his second goal. Aït-Nouri with the throw into Lemina. Lemina almost bundled off of it there, but Marmol gets it. But in the end, we lose it, and Adama Traore certainly got the beating of pace for anyone on the pitch. Look at him burst forward. Marmol comes across though. Lovely ball back into the box for Palhinha on the volley. Oh my word, Fulham, with about 5 minutes remaining on the clock, have got a route back into this game from absolutely nothing. Well, we lost it in a dangerous position, and when you give Adama Traore green grass to run into, he's going to absolutely leg it away from any player. On the volley though, could the goalkeeper have done better? Not much power in that volley. Let's have a look. Jose Sarr. Oh my word, that is poor goalkeeping once again from the Wolves number one. Well, now we have to hold on. A matter of minutes, moments remaining in the game. It is simply keep ball here. We cannot do anything stupid. Marmol lays it across to Semedo on the right hand side. We're into stoppage time. Semedo tries to play it through the channel and gives it away in the process. Palhinha now for Wolves to try and bring this one into our half here. He's being chased down by Strand Larsen. Ballo-Touré across to the other centre-back, but fortunately enough for me, the referee calls time. Well, once again, I breathe a huge sigh of relief. That man, Gajerd, will be absolutely delighted with his performance on his debut, as his goal, along with Victor Roque, give us the 2-1 victory to give us through to the next round. Well, 2 debuts and 2 goals, and an absolutely fantastic way to introduce yourself to the Wolves crowd. People may have questioned my methods bringing these 2 young stars to the club, but my word, what an impact they've made in their first game. Long may it continue. But that is going to be that for the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.